and good morning to everyone. And thank you very much for inviting us. We are very pleased to show our work regarding space for children and adolescents. And this morning we will present a teaching and research experience of the School of Architecture and Design at University of Camerino in Italy. The presentation is divided into parts. The first part will be narrated by Professor D'Annuntis, and it's about the premises behind this experience. And meanwhile, the second part, prepared by me, will describe the training and research activities in more detail. And so now I give the word to Professor D'Annuntis, which starts from the beginning of this story.
Yes. Good morning, everyone. Each year, Unicef Italy organizes multidisciplinary university courses on development, education, and education in rights. The courses are part of the university program, which represents an historical activity of the UNICEF. Through the stipulation of an agreement between UNICEF and the host universities, which provided specific and professional skills, a close collaboration is born in order to reach an important goal, offering to young people tools to read and analyze the problems that affect the world of childhood and adolescence in Italy and in the rest of the world. The diversity of the university's hostings, the UNICEF University Program, determines different applications of the Convention of Children and Adolescents' Rights, angled to the single disciplines and professions. We are a school of architecture and design, so we cross the Convention of Children and Adolescents' Rights to architectural culture aspects. The topic was analyzed through the principles of spaces and artifact design. The Convention on Children and Adolescents' Rights represents the main tool on which training courses are built, and it remains the fundamental key to understanding child situation, but also to identify possible solutions. The convention went on to become the most widely ratified human rights treaty in history, and it has helped to transform children's lives. Each country which joins promises every child to protect and fulfill their rights, but adopting an international legal framework. The training course, Child-Friendly Architectures, Design Spaces for Children and Adolescents, is organized by our school, the School of Architecture and Design of the University of Camerino, and the Unicef Italy. From the academic year 2019, it is the first course in Italy that tried to build a dialogue between the disciplines of architecture and the protection and the promotion of children and adolescents' rights. The idea to integrating the training course of an architect with the knowledge and the experiences aimed at the world of childhood and adolescence is inspired by the Renaissance architecture, the Spedale degli Innocenti, designed by Filippo Brunelleschi in Florence, a first sign of architecture for children. It is a building built to host and educate abandoned children and which represents one of the highest and most tangible symbols of civilization of 15th century in Florence, a city characterized by deep attention to works of public utilities. Since 1419, the Spedale has influenced architectural thought, its theories and its creation, and the building has represented one of the main architectural references against which to measure tradition and innovation. Less frequently, however, the profound civic sense that motivated the building construction and inspired its forms has been recalled. Over the course of 6 centuries, the hospital has hosted thousands of girls and boys, caring for them and accompanying them in their growth up to the world of work. From Agatha Esmeralda, the first little girl abandoned under Brunelleschi's portico, the Institute has paid constant attention to the innocent in the unique totality of extraordinary space and innovative activities, testifying to the profound link between architecture and the world of childhood. The relationship between architectural thought and the world of children has taken on different forms over time, even if animated by intentions that are often different and not always fully shared, philanthropic or charitable, other times discreet or rhetorical and instrumental, still others full participatory or suspiciously paternalistic. There are many examples of this relationship, from the loggia of the Spedale of Florence to the porticos of Fourier's ideal city, from the halls to the Real Albergo dei Poveri, to the dormitories of the Villaggio Ciano in Naples, from the seaside and mountain colonies created by the fascist regime to those given to the children of their employers by enlightened entrepreneurs of the post-war period, from kindergartens, school buildings, and the playgrounds to the games themselves. However, architectural thought has always developed forms and constructions dedicated to the different moments of childhood and adolescence. These are ideas, proposals, and creations that cross the different scales of the project, and perhaps for this reason, often have been considered lateral in specific disciplines. These are small scrapes of competence, confined to the deeps of individual paths. Experience that are rarely called upon to constitute a shared heritage of knowledge and skill, useful for offering a wide and multiscalar range of responses to the construction of spaces dedicated to the young generation. The path shared and then started by the School of Architecture and Design of Ascoli Piceno and Unicef Italy tries to give depth and solidity to a cultural sphere from which a new conscious demand for urban quality should arise, oriented towards by the younger generation. At the an initial stage, the terms within which this particular aspect of urban culture can credibly develop and constitute the reference for skills specifically aimed and involving girls and boys in a participatory process of sharing and planning their living environment were identified. Subsequently, some useful contributions were collected to start the creation of a shared heritage of knowledge and experience relating to the construction of spaces dedicated to children and young people. Finally, some participatory paths for the design of public spaces were tested in collaboration with the municipal administration sensitive to the issue. This is a journey that has just begun, which has involved high school and university teachers and students, citizens and associations, administration and municipal technicians, along which the theories and techniques of architectural culture are outlined on the rights of children and on equipped with pedagogy, to share their acquisitions with the world of school, local institutions and professions, and to verify together them in the delicate and open file of immediate comparison with the imagination of younger citizens. The book, Child-Friendly Architecture, recounts the start of this journey of knowledge and experimentation, for which the Spedale degli Innocenti, still today home to 2 nursery schools, a nursery school, 3 family homes, and the Unicef headquarters for the promotion of the care of rights of childhood, can only continue to constitute the original place and simultaneously represents the clearest reference towards the idea of an architecture that can be a friend to girls, boys, and adolescents. Thanks.
Okay. There are only other premises of this training experience and of these research activities. That is other important program that UNICEF has. This is an important framework of reference for this training course. This program called Child-Friendly City and Child-Friendly School recognize and apply the subjectivity of children and young people and aim to build a world that is suitable for children and adolescents through an integrated approach and a specific methodology. This program supports every child in the world has the right to grow up in an environment where they feel safe and secure, have access to basic service, clean air, water, and every child can play, learn, grow, and where their voice is heard and matters. So this represents the main framework which support the training activities. The Child-Friendly Architecture project is in line with the activity of UNICEF Italy and also testing a laboratory teaching approach. Children and adolescents in the local government structure, and it promotes and active involvement of children in the issues that concern them, listen to their opinion and keeping them in mind during decision-making processes. The course was divided into parts, and each part has different objectives. The first part is a teaching module that is more theoretical, and the second part, it's an application module that is a sort of lab. So now I start to explain the activity in these two main parts of the training course. The first part, the teaching activities, has a main objective. The training course aims to acquire a sense of awareness about the design of space, which is suitable for children and adolescents studying issues related to device design, invested space quality, project through different scale, technologies applied. And we erogate during this teaching module more than 20 theoretical seminars. You can see all the billboard of the event. And it's very important for us because during this theoretical seminar, we built a network of knowledge, network of architecture in the world, a network of pros in the world, which occupy their design on the topic of children's space. So we depict different topics from historical case studies. No, Professor D'Annuntis at the beginning of this presentation speak about Ospedale degli Innocenti in Florence, that probably is the first architecture made by children in Italy and Europe. So we cross then city planning program for planning the city from the point of view of child, public space, and also playground, school education, space, and building landscape, industrial design, drawing, and publishing. So the relationship between architecture and space for children is analyzed through good practice and cases studies project. And every time we ask ourselves how the space of the city, the space of learning, the space for leisure time, and so on of playground, positively influence the society and the urban settlement. Every time we say that a space that was designed and built for a child is good for all the societies. So the quality of life and educational experience are explored in a specific seminar dedicated to all the architecture discipline and to all the scale of the design. The speaker of the module are university professor, UNICEF expert, external consultant, expert in participative methodology. And the seminar led to discovery a range of architectural projects from the past to the most recent, and the architecture for children are diverse, really complex, and there are not only school projects. No, we always think about the school because it's the, in a way, the principal building where a child spends the most part of the day, but not only the school is the the design, the topic of design for the children and adolescents. And so all these architecture and all these design project, design object represent really high moment in the history of architecture and the history of industrial design. I show some moment of this theoretical seminar. This, for example, is a seminar dedicated to the school, so to the history also of the school after the Second World War in Italy and to the recent experimentation. This is our professor in, for example, in drawing activities. So he analyze and experiment the drawing of children and so on. And I'm the curator of a special seminar in playground. I'm a professor in landscape, so I'm interested to the open space for children. So I define something about the topic of the playground, how we analyze this topic, no? Because the area, the open area of playground are architecture of open space, no? Always we interpret the playground only as a play area. Meanwhile, we can elevate this topic to an open architecture. And so certainly is an area of design experimentation which crosses rights, freedom, and education for children. They are space which experiments with modeling of the ground. For example, this is a wonderful project in China that was called the Falls, because it's a sort of surface with which are folded, no? So it's a topographic project, it's a topographic design, and give topographic sensation experience to children. So in a way, this project construct a landscape, no? The natural and the artificial element cooperate together to determine the experience of the play and to raise the quality of the environment in which they are placed. So for us, this is the main thing to do, to research, no? How the space can raise the quality of the environment in the urban settlement. They are outdoor architecture which can encourage children to perceive also the space, no? With their hands, with their feet, children can run, can climb, can play, and can play hide and seek and decide for themselves how to have fun. So in a way, this architecture of the open space produce a difference between the world of the game and the world of the play. No, we have play that is characterized by instinct, freedom, and own rule, which every time was invented by children. Meanwhile, the game is something that it's more precise action with precise rule, with a function and with a scope. So we think that the play happen in the public space. So the play contribute to build the common space for everyone. And every time we choose, we study, we analyze some of these open space architecture, no? From the past to the to the contemporary time, and we noticed that architects minimize the use of the play equipment. No, it's a really it's a design which experiment the surface of the ground, experiment the natural element, so involve the children in a play contest, not in a game. The playground during the time become also a new centrality for the city and for the urban settlements. The playground become really a collective space central to urban life, so become a new point of reference for renewal processes for the city. This, for example, is an important project in Amsterdam made in 19 years, and it's a museum for the science, but the most important space of this museum is the roof, no? That it's a surface in which there's a playground, no? And children can play with water on the roof. Okay, so the playground become a tools to regenerate urban fabric, to build the societies, and to build the sense of collectivity. This happened from the past. Now, this is a wonderful experience that it's very, very, very intelligent, no? And it's made by an architect, Aldo van Eyck, during the 1947 years, when Aldo van Eyck began to work for the Public Works Office in Amsterdam. It's a difficult period because he started to work to these cities after the Second World War, when the city is really destroyed. So Aldo van Eyck is a young architect at the age of 28 years old, and he noticed the cities that had been seriously devastated by the war. So he started to work with another point of view, starting from the child, starting from children and young citizens. So through his work, he wanted to place the need of the child at the center of urban redevelopment and of democracy. So many of these projects are built in the urban voids that caused by plane bombing during the war, and if the past, the places were associated with the idea of destruction, of hatred, they are now the favorite destination for children to meet, to encounter, to have fun. And so there are places also to share with the family and with also adults. This now is the plan of the city of Amsterdam, in which you can see in this yellow dot some of this space that survive, no? Because of course many time is passed. So many of this space were changed again, but there is some of this playground that now is possible to visit again. So these open space are a continuous network of places. It's not an isolated point, but concern all the layout of the city. are places which injected new life into the city's post-war urban fabric. And so they are places where children could recognize as inhabitants of the city. This is some of the photos that we can see the destroyed space after the bombs, and then the project of Aldo van Eyck, which these projects are really simple project made by few elements and few material, very simple, no? There are sand area and elements for climb for children, and Aldo van Eyck, the architects, design also these equipped elements, no? So it's a project, is a design which crossed all the scale from industrial design to the open space project. The space concern also street and so on. I think that now, for example, this architecture of open space, the playground, has new challenge for the future. So I put 3-4 keywords which represent the new challenge for build a new societies, no? For build a society in the contemporary time. Is the integration, is the socialization, the identity of place, and also topic concern climate and the defense of the world, no? Of the natural world, of the environment. And so during our theoretical activity, we search and we find a lot of case studies which was studied in spite of this new challenge. For example, this is a project very nice concerning the socialization of children being outdoor and living the virtual reality, that it's a problem in the our societies. It's a project that was built in London. It's out of a school. It's the playground of school, and is made with a really few elements, a strip, no, in the open space. This strip change in the sides, in the direction, and so on, and children play in freedom, and they follow the strip. They follow the color, the movement, the direction, and this experimentation demonstrates how children raise their attention to the school, they perform to the good performing of the schools. So I think now is a good example to overlap the isolation of virtual reality. Another topic was the defense of the biodiversity and the defense of climate change. No, this is another important playground made in Coquedal, climate adaptation. No, so the topic of the climate adaptation was transformed in a playground when children can learn this topic, no, this emergency. And they can notice the difference now about a rainy day. They can play with the water, the fall water, and so on. Another topic is also the social integration. This is another important playground, Superkilen in Copenhagen, no, in a neighborhood very multicultural. And so this project try to link people come from different culture and different point of view to share the same space, no, to play together. I think is another important challenge. And the last one is the identity and the story of place. This is a project in Flanders. Be Mine is a mountain, an adventure mountain with a touristic and recreative objective, and the project gives a new sense, a coal mining site. And I come back, children can experiment the life of mine workers, no? So they can climb, they can stay in under, no, a surface, they can help together. And so I think that's another topic. It's discover the place, discover the history of the play through the play, and so on. A last part of the teaching module is dedicated to the experimentation of new technologies such as 3D printing, laser cutting for creation and design of game, teaching material and educational objectives starting from historical design project. Now, this is an experimentation made with a puzzle of an important designer, it's Enzo Mari, that with the laser cutting design all the animal, no, with a line, with a single line. And so we reproduce in the last part of this theoretical seminar, we reproduce some object of industrial design inside and within our lab, our 3D lab. Now we move to the second application module, which characterize our experience and our training course. It's an application module. So it's a lab. We are very proud of this part because it's very difficult, because we try to interact with the school and with children. So it's an application module. The main objective is listen to need and the proposal of children and young people, with the aim of improving specific context in which children, adolescents live, considering relation between the city, within city neighborhood, between space, educational space, between playground, between school and sport area, and so on. So the application was formulated with the direct involvement of the children of the school in a participation experience. So there's a strong, deeply collaboration between university, between school, between local administration. And this collaboration is really fundamental for the constitution of a territorial context in which the rights of listening and participation of children and adolescents are guaranteed. Now we start this presentation with the Convention of the Right for Children and Adolescents. In this convention, there's a pillar that is the 12th article, which say that the state parties shall assure to the child who is capable of forming his or her own view the right to express those views freely in all matter affecting the child, the view of the child being given due weight in accordance with the age and the maturity of the child. So, for this purpose, the child shall in particular be provided the opportunity to be heard in any administrative proceeding affecting the child. either directly or through a representative or an appropriate body in a manner consistent with the procedural rule of national law. No? So we start from this article that for us is very important to listen the opinion of children in the transforming processes of the cities and regarding the space where they live. Students who are in the training course at the university participate as facilitator. Professors involved in the activity make their skill available to support students and teenagers along the way, and then teenager or children, as you can see in this photo, express the idea, they need, their proposal. And so we choose in a way a topic to discuss together. We choose a project area to discuss. No, the project area, of course, concern the point of view of children. So now I show to you very fastly this experience, but I want to clarify in a way the structure of this experience. No? So we choose an area, we choose a topic, and in this first year we work on the Adriatic coast, no, in a village in the sea that was divided by a city center, no, and a new settlement along the sea. These two parts are really divided, so we try to elaborate a path, an historical path, following an historical path. We try to elaborate a link between these two environments, no? We make visits with children and with the participants of the training course, and then we start to elaborate some tools to begin the discussion, no? To listen children, opinion of children, and the support of UNICEF to build this tool are very important, no? Because we formulate a survey. The survey analyzed 3 points about yourself, so about the point of view of the children, no? In this part of the survey, the child present himself, and about the cities, what the point of view of children and teenagers about the city and about the project area. The service was completely anonymous because the children and teenagers have to be safe to express an idea without opposition or without something that in a way can change their idea. Then we the data that we searched during this service were processes, and then this is a very important moment because we know the need of teenager, and then we start with the discussion and we development some indicator to elaborate a proposal, no? For example, in this way is an historical path, so to transform in a new link between the two parts of the city, so we understand about the perception of the walking, about, for example, the stop area, about the possibility to visit some space along this path. No, so there's a lot of development indicator. Another topic for this is, for example, the ground, no, the topographic characteristic of the area, because it's not in a flat. So this is a problem. This is an element to development in the project. And then we propose some solution that we share with teenagers and children, and we discuss together to the best solution. And then we have the final elaboration of a master plan that is summarized in a way this participatory moment, and in a way summarize all the proposal came from children. There's also another, for example, experience that is not in open space. This is a building, is an abandoned building. That was very nice, this experience, because we involve teenager of an high school, and this is the old high school, and the school in the time grew up, so was moved to another school, to another new school, and this is remain an abandoned building. So that it's not so far from the new school. And so we talk about the destiny of this architecture that is in the city center, is near other school, and so the program is to transform this in a building for aggregation of young people, no? And so we start with the visit. This is the area. We start with the visit, and then we make the survey. Every time, of course, the service was built in different way, no? In spite of the participation of the course. For example, in this way, we work with high school, so with teenager, and so we use also the drawing, no? How they image and how they desire a space for them, for teenager. Then we built a big model for the urban mapping that is a way to tell the story of the city experience that teenager has. So we identify the place that are most that for them are really close, that they live, or where they go when they go out together with the other friends. So we start to speak together around this big model of the city, and then we develop some indicators. For example, one of the topic of the discussion is if we destroyed or if we want to maintain this the identity of this building, no, or if we want to eliminate some part of the volume, no. So we talk together. Then, for example, another topic is the link of this space with the city, with the street of the city. The topic of the boundary, no, because now this place is really close to the city, but is completely delayed from the city. So we speak about the sense of a boundary, the open space, how they image the open space, then the facade. And so a lot of point, the roof, a lot of point to development, a project and the destiny of this building. And then we built another model, but it's more architectonic model, and we start a drawing, a sketch, and we start to experience it with this model in a big scale and in architectonic scale. And so we interact with this model to transform this space in spite of the desire and the proposal of teenager. Was a really wonderful experience, because the teenager in the beginning are really shy, and then little by little, no, in a way, they approach with this model. It was very funny. And then, in a way, they put also green elements and so on. And this is a part of the experimentation that linked this building to a network of places of the city, which are very important for teenagers. Then the last part was the submission to local administration. So every time we make a conclusion event to discover this experience, to explain the experience, we submit this experience to local administration. And so I want only to tell you very fastly another experience that opened other experimentation that happened during the pandemic of COVID. So we didn't go to the school, as for us it's impossible to work with students. So we work to another kind of activity that is to replay to a call, for search funding, to regenerate space. We work on this building that is in the Adriatic coast. This is a special building that was built in 17 years old for touristic function, but during the time, this work that attract people from the North Europe, especially for the sea, changed completely its life, because little by little was abandoned and fall in a disused state. So little by little was lived by immigrant family. Now we called a world house. Now it's a world building, because inside there is more than 30 ethnies in the world, from China, from Africa, from Asia, and so on. And inside this building live more than 300 minors in poor condition, and in conditions that are not completely safe for them. So there's the possibility to lose the school, to live imagination. And so we propose to live. Now this is some really significant photo about these children that play in a not safe space, along the corridor of this big building. So we think about them, and we replay to a call that was called With Child, this called, that propose and encounter spaces for teenagers. So the call promote the creation of development territorial center that perform a dual education and aggregative function in favor of young people between 10 to 17. So we start to propose this space to share a multicultural, and so under it's a building of 17 level, and in the ground floor we work for a center for young people, an educational center, because in the ground floor there's a space that is of the municipality, and so with the connection with the municipality and with other local operator, we propose this. So I think that I can conclude because we finish our time. How we can conclude that this experience of the training course through a laboratory approach to teaching and learning aim to promote a renewal of the perspective with which the young generation of professionals will be able to look to the right of children and adolescents. The teaching experience sensitizes both the academic, professional world and the young student world to the protection of children and adolescents' rights as a fulcrum of choice of organization, planning and management of public and private space. And then the use of application laboratory, according to a maker approach, offer to students and to children and teenagers a way to experience the right. But I think that in particular, this training experience satisfies one of the most important convention of the right, that is to build in the society physical space, but also ideal space when people can live better and when we can build a better society for child.